Summer is here, which means more social events, more weddings to attend, more nights out on the town, and hopefully more vacations. That's why I'm so thankful for today's sponsor, Honeylove, for covering us with the best shapewear. With Honeylove, you can feel your best even when you're wearing less. Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/ratchet. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/ratchet. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. The summer vibes are just getting started, honeys. Shape your life with Honeylove. Everyone's favorite is back. Keke Palmer's podcast is back and it's too good. She has questions for days, and now she's diving into the brains of entertainment's best and brightest to get some answers. From Snoop Dogg to Jordan Peele to Quinta Brunson to John Stamos to Amy Poehler, Keke is getting to the bottom of the burning topics that keep us up at night. If you love Keke, you'll love Baby, This is Keke Palmer. She's her most authentic self, going all in on everything in her life and the lives of celeb guests. Follow, watch, and listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcast. And now watch full episodes on Keke's own YouTube channel. Listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs projects done well. I absolutely love this because, if you own a home, it can be really hard to maintain. It's hard to find people that can help you for a big project or a small. Well, whether it's in everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Angie has over 20 years of home service experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish. Or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to Ratchet and Respectable. I'm back. I mean, sort of. Still back as in the country, but also back as in the East Coast. I'm back in PG County. I'm back at my parents' house for 4 days, maybe. I fly out again on Saturday. I am going to Essence. I'm not working it. I'm literally going down to see Usher perform Confessions and hang out with some friends that'll be in town. Essence is always a good time. And I think this is the first time I'm going to Essence Festival as an actual just attendee, with the exception of last year and then 1 year since 2009. I've worked it in some capacity. I'm either hosting on stage or doing social media on a panel, moderating a panel, something. But this year, I'm totally free. I'm going to try to take advantage of it. I don't even know what Essence Festival is like not working it. This should be interesting. I also decided not to stay on the main strip or in the French Quarter. I just got back from the BET Awards literally last night. I was in LA for 5 days. Downtown LA for awards weekends or when there's something going on at LA Live, which is literally a block over, or the Staples Center, which is now the crypto.com arena. When there were events going on where there were for Black people, sometimes it can get a little crazy downtown, just a little loud, mostly safe, but a little bit hood too. What I'm about to say next is going to be real anti-Black. You know my respectability politics flares sometimes. I could do Black people. I could do niggas in small servings. But BET Awards, there were Black people. There were lots of Black people. There were also lots of niggas. And I was like, I can't be in the middle of that. I've reached my nigga quotient. So I booked a hotel in the Garden District. I have to take the St. Charles streetcar to get to the main event. I can't be in the middle of that. Plus the traffic. and it's just loud. The weird thing is there's hella hotels left and they're relatively cheap. And I mean like cheap like 250 a night, which everybody might not think is cheap, but put it in comparison is to usually the week before Essence, there are no hotels. And if they are available, finding something for under $500, $600 a night was impossible. But there are hotels available, lots of them. I just didn't want to stay in the mix this time. So I have my Usher ticket, I have my flight, I have my hotel. I should also give you a heads up while you're listening. We're taking a break next week. My birthday is July 9th, and so I want to take a little time off to recalibrate for my personal new year. So I'm going to be off for about 2 weeks. I know, I know, I know. I'm not sorry. I will use the time wisely. I will get the rest and the break that I need, and then we will come back better. I'm also working on the merch launch. We were supposed to do one as soon as I got back from South Africa, but I haven't even been back a month yet. And I've done Miami, LA, New York, and then I head to Essence. That'll officially be a month on Saturday. I've been a bit busy working. The checks are cut, but a lot of that work is for other people. I need to do stuff for Ratchet and Respectable and See Some World as well. But that's not what you want to hear about. I know why you're here. The BET Awards were on Sunday night. I enjoyed the show overall. I've learned in life that it really helps when I manage my expectations. I don't tune into the BET Awards expecting it to be the Kennedy Center Honors. I don't expect the BET Awards to be anything other than the BET Awards. And for better or for worse, they are incredibly consistent in what they offer. The audience is also incredibly consistent in what it offers. The awards air, and then the day after, everyone who watched complains about the awards. It is a time honored Negro tradition at this point for us to come together as a community to complain about the BET Awards. It's what we do. That's Monday and Tuesday. And then somewhere around Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, BET releases a press release that says this was the highest rated award season ever, up 2, 3, 4 times XYZ percentage over the year prior. It's always the number one most viewed show on cable during that time slot among viewers 18 to 30. In every possible metric that the network actually cares about, they always exceed expectations and it always comes in number one. You've heard this before, and I'm just going to repeat it for you. You vote with your eyeballs. Even if you tune into something to trash it and talk about how awful it is, Nielsen or whoever's tracking online doesn't know the difference. All they know is that you watch. The advertisers who do the spins during the broadcast, all they care about is that they paid the big money and they got a good ROI. That's it. If you hate everything about the BET Awards, I don't work for BET. I don't own stock in BET. I get absolutely nothing except the work that I did while I was in LA. They're going to cut me checks for that. I attended the awards. I did not work the awards. I have absolutely nothing vested in this. I'm just telling you, if it's something that you love, watch it, stream it, talk about it online, hashtag it, let people know that you love it. And if it's something that you hate, ignore it. For all the people that engage in the long-standing tradition of complaint, if you actually didn't watch the awards and the numbers plummeted, it would be a whole new show the following year. I'm just saying. That said, I didn't hate the awards. I was there. It was ratchet. It's what I expected. It also had very respectable moments. I think we should probably get to those first so we can get into the stuff people really want to talk about. I don't think the Usher tribute was ratchet. I just think it wasn't. We'll get to that. I have thoughts. Let's start at peak respectable. Lauryn Hill was amazing. I didn't know Lauryn Hill was performing. They announced it at the top of the broadcast when they were going through the list of who all going to be there. But I thought she did a great job. I don't even know the name of that song. The Answers Within Me. That's what I've always called it, but that is absolutely not the name. Deep in My Heart. That could be the name of it. I'm not looking it up. You know the song I'm referring to. On the Miss Education album, I know she doesn't do songs now the way that she did from the album because she can't. The way she performed it last night, it made it sound like a gospel song. I guess based on the lyrics, it probably was all along. I just didn't catch it until the way she sung it last night. That song has gotten me through so much ish in my life. Every big decision, and big decisions are always scary, but every single one since that album came out, I played that song on repeat, trying to figure out what is it that I'm supposed to do. And I mean, everything from skipping my senior year of college and moving to London instead, getting into grad school and moving to New York for the first time. I played it a bunch when I quit my job at Essence, which everyone thought was a bad idea. Like people were like, well, what are you going to do? And I was like, is it the only job I'm capable of holding? Is this all I'm capable of doing? At the time, it was the longest job I ever had. I worked at Essence for 4 years. Ratchet and Respectable is actually the longest job I've ever had now. Somebody asked me the other day when I started it, and I was like, oh, 2019. And they were like, wow, you've been doing it 5 years? Oh, wow. Yeah, I guess 5 years. Yeah. Huh. Go figure. Leaving New York, moving to LA, leaving America and moving to Ghana, moving to Paris because I don't speak French. That was a big leap of faith where I had to play Lauryn Hill over and over and over again. Miseducation and the Unplugged album because that was what are you doing? You don't speak French. Excusez-moi, s'il vous plaît. Parlez-vous anglais? Everyone does. Most French people under, say, I don't know, 50, speak decent English. They just won't speak it to you if you just run up on them speaking English. Ask me how I know. I thought Lauryn Hill was wonderful. I thought she and her son were wonderful. She dropped, I think that was a new verse. I've never heard that song before. And I was like, oh my God, Lauryn spits. Lauryn still spits. They can never make me hate her. She's performing music she created when she was, what, 21, 22, 23, something like that. And it's still paying her bills all these years later. Like she made classic music. And because she can't perform the original version, she's been flipping it into different melodies over the last 20 years, and somehow they all work. The lyrics are timeless. Her ear for music is impeccable. Just her consistency. Her and Wyclef. Wyclef is one of the best concerts I've ever been to. He puts on a full freaking carnival. It was just a straight up party. I thought Will Smith did a good job. Taking up the mantle that Kanye left behind was not on my bingo card. Will Smith going gospel, also not on bingo card. However, works. You know, he went through a storm, perhaps a storm of his own making, but a storm nonetheless. But he's still in redemption phase. I feel like we talked about this in a previous episode. But clearly, Will is still in a self reflecting moment. He went through a storm. He's on the other side of it, making it through to the other side, persevering. Now, this is his testimony. Will was never a gangster rapper. All of his music from back in the day, like he prided himself on, even when he was 20 something, making music that the family could listen to. Like he didn't curse. So him tiptoeing over the gospel is not a leap. But also you have people like Snoop who do gospel albums. And by all accounts, at least young Snoop was very gangster. I mean, like on trial for murder gangster. Not just, oh, I crip walk sometimes. No, 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 no. Was actually on trial for murder. Y'all remember that? Murder was the case? It was back when I was in high school. I remember the video. Who else was really good? Both of the country artists. I can't remember the lady who looks like Beyonce but isn't Beyonce. She had on all white. Tanner. I didn't write her name down in my notes, but you know what I'm talking about. I thought she was good. I thought Shabuzi, I thought he was great. I'm looking at the videos in my phone to see who else I actually recorded. That'll tell you how much I liked it. My willingness to hold up my arm. I loved Meg. That was a lot of ass shaking. It was like 35 women in basically thongs and bathing suits shaking their ass all at the same time. It was a strong visual. I saw lots of people complaining about the amount of ass shaking, which it was a lot. And I don't mind ass. I was just like, wow, this is a lot. Because it was Meg, Tyler, Sexy Red, Lotto, Ice Spice, Chloe Bailey, Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer wasn't really ass shaking, but she dropped her pants, so she was standing up there in her drawers. I know it's an ode to what Usher used to do back in the day, but like still. Victoria Monet too, when she performed her own music and then also in the Usher tribute. Like she started off with her own music fully dressed, and by the end of it, she was like wet and writhing on the floor. And then the Usher thing, she was like bent over, touch your toes. I actually loved that performance. But I was just like, why is everyone naked? Tiana had on clothes. Lauryn Hill had on clothes. Lauryn Hill had on all the clothes. All that fabric could have clothed everyone else who was half naked the whole show. But I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining. You can't complain that people are half naked and then also complain that people got on too much clothes. Like, pick one. Pick one. And just for clarity, right? Like, I feel this is important to say because I'm a woman critiquing women. I just want to be mindful in my critique. My issue is not necessarily that so few people had on no clothes. I want women to express themselves and express their sexuality in the ways that feel authentic and comfortable to them. And if you being half naked and shaking your ass is what brings you joy, if that's where you feel like that's your sweet spot of like this is me. Coco Jones, she was half naked too. Like if that's what works for you, then I want it to work for you. I think programming wise, if you're booking a whole bunch of people, you just have to be mindful like okay, these are the people who like to be half naked. We also might want to consider depending on the audience that you're going after. I also think about that too. Like I'm watching the BET Awards and I'm not the target audience, I don't think, for the BET Awards. I think it's by and large aimed at that 18 to 35 crowd. As of next, what, Tuesday, I'll be 10 years out of that demo. So when I have critiques, keep that in mind. But like, I just would like more of a balance. I want the people who enjoy being half naked to just continue to be half naked because that's what brings them joy. But I also just think from a programming perspective, perhaps add some people that are bringing more to the table than ass shaking or just cover their ass. I'm not saying you got to put on all the fabric that Lauryn Hill chose to put on, but maybe there's a middle ground, to which point I ask myself, who is that? Like I don't know. I honestly don't know most of the new artists right now. All I listen to is my Usher playlist, the new Beyonce, and my gospel playlist. I don't know a lot of new music, or at least like women artists to be like, oh, this is so and so. She's, not twerking all the time. I don't know who that is. The twerkers in general don't bother me. Like Meg, it is what it is. If you go to a Meg performance, she's gonna shake her ass. I am intentionally going to Broccoli City Festival in August so I can watch Megan shake her ass. I've never been to a Meg concert. I really want to go. I'm looking forward to that. Meg shaking her ass didn't bother me. I think she's a very talented rapper. And I think also she has a dope body. And I describe her that way very intentionally with her talent leading because I think even if she was fully covered, I think she has a bunch of talent and I think the talent would shine through. I think that for most of the people that performed, Glorilla had her clothes on for most of it. Only when she did the song with Meg, she had on the little hot pants and then Meg started twerking. You know what? All booties matter. Little booties, big booties, all booties matter. But like Meg was doing, her Meg ass shaking, even though she lost like a ton of weight, like she still got proportionally hella ass. Glorilla, she don't have a lot of ass, proportionally or otherwise, but she shook what she had and she seemed happy doing it. And I was like, you know what? That song is 7 p.m. Friday. It's 95 degrees. I ain't got no nigga. I was like, oh my God, this is ghetto as fuck. I love it. I was singing along. You can hear me on the video if you follow me on social media. I posted it. But I was singing the song and my manager was sitting in front of me and he turned around. You know how like somebody does something so crazy? You turn around real, real slow with a look of disbelief like, who the fuck are you? He was like, I didn't even know you knew about content like this, D. I'm always complaining, like, oh, it's gone so long and I missed out on so many things and I don't always know what people are talking about. He was like, you don't know any of that, but you know this. It's 7 p.m. Friday. Yes, yes, yes. It's my anthem. I can see the talent in everybody that performed half naked except Ice Spice. She made a song about like a fart. Literally, fart is part of the chorus. At one point, she wasn't even rapping. She wasn't even trying to like rap. Like it was just music playing, and she was just bent over, shaking her dump truck ass. Man, give up the rap and just go get an OnlyFans. She has an amazing body. Her ass is humongous, but I was like, you have no talent. I'm not sorry. Like, it's mean and I don't care. I find no redeeming qualities in her music or her stage performance. You can't dance and you can't rap. All you do is shake your ass. That is a talent of sorts. It is a skill. But I don't know why you need to be on stage at the BET Awards doing it. OnlyFans, perfect for you. The strip club, I don't make no judgments about sex work. It's honest work for honest pay. Summer is here, which means more social events, more weddings to attend, more nights out on the town, and hopefully more vacations. That's why I'm so thankful for today's sponsor, Honeylove, for covering us with the best shapewear. With Honeylove, you can feel your best even when you're wearing less. They've revolutionized compression technology, so you no longer have to feel like you're suffocating while wearing effective shapewear. Plus, they are the only shapewear that won't ever roll down, no matter how much you groove on the dance floor. Honey Love Shapewear features lingerie inspired details that you'll want to show off and is made with breathable fabric that keeps you nice and cool, which is perfect for hot days. For limited time only, you can get Honey Love on sale. Get 20% off your first order with our exclusive link, honeylove.com/ratchet. Support our show and check them out at honeylove.com/ratchet. I have not had the best experience with shapewear until I started wearing Honey Love. Their superpower short smooths shapes and lifts, giving me a flawless silhouette under my outfit. It's become my go-to. Treat yourself to the best bras and shapewear on the market and save 20% off at honeylove.com/ratchet. Use our exclusive link to get 20% off. honeylove.com/ratchet. After you purchase, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent you. The summer vibes are just getting started, honeys. Shape your life with Honey Love. Everyone's favorite is back. Keke Palmer's podcast is back and it's too good. She has questions for days, and now she's diving into the brains of entertainment's best and brightest to get some answers. From Snoop Dogg to Jordan Peele to Quinta Brunson to John Stamos to Amy Poehler, Keke is getting to the bottom of the burning topics that keep us up at night. If you love Keke, you'll love Baby, This is Keke Palmer. She's her most authentic self, going all in on everything in her life and the lives of celeb guests. Follow, watch, and listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcast. And now watch full episodes on Keke's own YouTube channel. Listen to Baby, This is Keke Palmer early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus. We probably need to talk about this Usher tribute. I guess we need to talk about the Usher speech. Most of his speech didn't air. Usher had dropped like a couple F bombs. He said shit. It was unnecessary profanity, I thought, but all things considered, we just done watched ass shake for 2 hours nonstop. I didn't feel like, now is the time to get like, oh, bring out the censors. But I understand you can't curse. Or can you? Because BET is on cable, but maybe it was also broadcasting on network. I don't know. But BET censored, or at least tried to censor Usher's profanity and ended up muting most of his speech. I don't think it was intentional. BET put out an apology and they explained it was inadvertent. It was an accident. It wasn't their intention. They openly apologized to Usher because, it's his lifetime achievement. This is a big moment. And then his speech doesn't air. There's lots of conspiracy theories around that. People are like, oh, what did Usher say? Why is BET censoring the black man? I really think it was an honest mistake because Usher didn't say anything super crazy that was deserving of censorship. The whole speech is available on YouTube. It's on BET's YouTube page. I made a list of the things that he covered in case you haven't actually seen it yet. And when I tell you what it is, you'll be so unimpressed. You're going to be like, oh, that's it? It kind of kills the conspiracy theory. So he started off to say that getting to where he is, i.e., getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, it has been no easy feat, but it has been worth it. He kind of joked, but kind of not, that it was a little early in his career, he thought, to be receiving the Lifetime Achievement Award because he's still doing a lot and he feels like he has further to go, which I agree. I agree, at least the further to go part. I'm not mad that they gave him a Lifetime Achievement. Several times throughout the night, like people mentioned that Usher was getting this award and they were happy that he was able to receive his flowers while he can still smell them. Folks die and then everybody wants to like honor them and do these retrospectives. I mean, it's very cathartic for the people who are left behind, the people that are in mourning. But, the person who really needed to hear that we appreciate you and we love you and we respect your contribution is the dead person. So I'm not mad that we're telling Usher how we feel and how important he has been to music and to his fans. So Usher received another award earlier in the evening. It wasn't Album of the Year. He asked all the men, the fathers specifically, in the room to stand, and he kept saying that this is the year of the father. He said people often win awards, and the first thing they say is like, I want to thank my mom. And he was like, the fathers need some love too. And he's like, the fathers, like, we're present, we're there, we are equally as important. Like, we raise our kids, we do our job. And I'm paraphrasing, but he was like, the fathers need recognition as well. So he asked all the fathers to stand, and then we applauded the fathers. And then he also brought up Year of the Father again in his speech. I'm going out on a limb here and kind of guessing he's going to drop some sort of father themed something coming up soon. I wouldn't be surprised if his next album is called something like Year of the Father, or he launches an organization for Black fathers or something like that. He talked in detail about his dad and just kind of the way he was speaking. I got a sense that this was something he doesn't usually talk about. And two, it's been heavy on his mind as of late, and he's been processing. He seems to be at a purposefulness place in his life, but I feel very much, and not even I feel, because he said as much in the speech, he's having a second or third wind, if you will. And he's very aware of it. He's talked about how there was a point in which people weren't fucking with him. They weren't returning his calls. They had counted him out. He didn't say has been, but that's kind of what he was implying. He remembers that, and he doesn't take for granted where he is now. So that's what I mean in the sense of purposefulness. I think he's thinking very much about, like, I got this second chance, and he's bigger now than, dare I say, he was during the confession years. I think he's thinking about what to do with his second chance at his level of celebrity and all the influence that comes with that. Make his mark, I think, as more than quote unquote just an entertainer or just a musician. But he talked about his dad. He referred to himself as a bastard, which I was like, okay, like you really been marinating on this. A lot of hurt. You could tell there with good cause. He talked about how his dad wasn't there and how his dad abandoned him. And he was like, you gave me this name, and it's Usher Raymond the fourth. He's the fourth generation of Ushers. And then, like, it's like, you gave me this name, you gave me this legacy, and then you didn't stick around to, like, see me to manhood. Like, WTF. But he thanked the men again on stage. He thanked them multiple times. He said when everybody else bailed on him, like whether he had new music or whether he had fame or any celebrity, any of that, that the men on stage, and then also some other men, Clarence Avant, he named some other people. He specifically did not name Diddy. We all know that Diddy played a huge factor in Usher's life. There was no mention of Diddy. I think with good cause, because all it would have done was draw critique. Like, the man's been accused of blah, 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 and you have this massive female fan base, and you are mentioning him. Usher learned his lessons from going down to Bali and palling around with Russell Simmons. Although Usher never told us that he was down there. Russell's the one that posted the pictures. Usher was trying not to be messy. You decided to be messy. He talked about rebranding the word ego, express goals out loud. He talked about forgiving his haters, that he used them as motivation. He thanked God. He praised his mom. He praised his grandmother who recently passed away. He credits her, the grandmother, with his recent wave of success. He says his grandmother died and has gone up to heaven and is now masterminding and puppeteering all the great things that are happening in Usher's life. He brought up Swizz and Alicia, which I was like, bruh. Swizz and Alicia, not that you need a reminder, have a complicated backstory. As in, Swizz was married when he started dating Alicia. It's been 15 years and two children later. They've been married since 2010, 14 years. Damn near 15. You can round up at 14. At some point, we just got to let it go. We just got to let it go. But Usher brought it up, and he was like, he admires Swizz Beatz' situation, and that Swizz's original wife and Alicia Keys did not always have a great relationship, but over time have built one to the point that Mashonda goes on vacations, or at least at one point was going on vacations with Swizz and Alicia and all of the children together. I would not be capable of that. I don't know that I have that level of maturity. I'm not mad at Mashonda for having it. I respect it very much for not holding on to that hate. She's a very lovely woman. I saw her not this time I was in LA, but the time before. We have friends in common. Lovely, lovely lady by all accounts. She a better woman than I'll ever be. That's it. Usher brings up Swizz and Alicia and implies their messy beginnings or messy parts of their relationship in order to address his own situation that he has going on with Tamika, his ex-wife. I was like, sir, despite what you think, despite how comfortable you may feel, despite being in a room and on a stage surrounded by people who love and admire you, it is a safe space. However, you telling too much tea. I know it's your tea to tell, but still, it's too much tea. take this back to the therapist office. Clearly, you've been going. It's opening up different parts of you that you like to express, but we have to find a time and a place that it is safe to express these things. The BET award stage to a room of thousands of people and millions watching is really not the best time to talk about Swizz and Mashonda's messiness. Like that was too much. And then also to address your ex-wife, especially in the way that you did. Like if he just said, I just want to thank, I want to thank Tamika, I want to thank Grace, because they're all part of his lives, his ex-wives. Okay. But he was like, I'm trying, Tamika. It's like, okay, we didn't know y'all were having issues. You don't talk about it in public. She don't really talk about it in public. The last we heard from Tamika, she said that she went to the Super Bowl. She had a great time. She enjoyed herself. Usher got married right after the Super Bowl. Same interview, they asked Tamika. They said, well, how do you feel? She said, I feel great about it. Like, I wish him the best. I want everybody to be happy. And left it at that. I'm thinking everything's all good until you get on the damn BET stage and be like, I'm trying, Tamika, damn. Bruh, you telling us business that we don't need to know. That's not our business. That's your business. That's Tamika's business. That's family business. We didn't need to know that business, friend. Notably, he did not mention Chili. Finally, the man got married and the Super Bowl the same day. A big interview comes out, and people, we talked about it at the time. My friend Janine Rubenstein wrote it. The man could not stop talking about Chili. I was like, sir, you just married somebody else. If you were not aware, you married someone who is not Chili. Talk about your new bride, not your ex from like 20 years ago. He managed not to mention Chili, which I know was a feat for him. I would also like to point out that I mentioned all of these things that he talked about, and there's still a few more. He talked about LeBron and Bronny. He talked about all of this shit before he said thank you to his current wife. My driver picked me up from the airport last night. He's like, did you watch the BET Awards? He knew I was going to LA to work, but he didn't know exactly what I was out there for. And I was like, yeah, like I went to the show and blah, blah, blah. And he was like, what's going on with Usher and that weird wife? And I was like, are you saying she's weird because she's white? And he was like, no, I'm saying she's weird because she's weird. That whole vibe is weird. Is she white? She's Latina, right? She's not like white. She's like spicy white. She seasons food. She comes with rhythm. That's not the point. He said that he wasn't calling the wife weird because she was white. He just thinks their whole dynamic is off. And he was like, Usher's still in love with Chili. And I was like, based on what? I mean, I think this too. I just want to know what his line of thinking was. And he was like, some loves you just never get over. And he was like, just what they had, you can't move on from that. Like, it'll always be there. He also started talking about Chris Brown and Rihanna. And I was like, stop. Now you've gone too far. You had me on the Usher and wife commentary, but I was like, Chris Brown and Rihanna, I was like, I think she's absolutely gaga over Rocky. And I think he's gaga about her. I was so very wrong about him. I was really very unhappy about Rihanna being with Rocky. When they were dating, fine. But when she got pregnant, I was like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? But Rocky, like, he's been around for a minute. He's pretty solid. In this most recent video of theirs, when Rihanna looked like she came home drunk from brunch and is dancing the glow, Rihanna talking about, I ain't got no nigga and no nigga ain't got me. And I was like, ma'am, you can't sing that in front of the man that you with. You can't. That hurts them. They don't like that. That's disrespectful. Don't do that. He had his hands on his hips and he was like, I need a drink. Too old for this shit. He settled into fatherhood very nicely. You saw his campaign for Father's Day? I don't think we talked about it on here. Was it with Bottega? Who was ASAP's campaign with? It was real cute. It was him playing with the kids for Father's Day. It was really beautifully shot. He's a very attractive man. Hold up. ASAP, Father's Day. Oh, yeah, Bottega Veneta. That was really cute. I liked them. My bad, ASAP. Let's see. Did he say anything else? No, that's pretty much the gist of it. That's why I said, like, once I tell you what he actually talked about, the conspiracy theory falls apart. It's not like he got up there and was talking about, like, Palestine and Israel or something. Like, it wasn't that at all. There was nothing so crazy to bleep other than the profanity that would have wrinkled feathers or been controversial. Mm-mm. Somebody just fucked up.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs projects done well. I absolutely love this because, you know, if you own a home, it can be really hard to maintain. It's hard to find people that can help you for a big project or a small. Well, whether it's in everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Angie has over 20 years of home service experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish. Or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
This tribute, the Usher tribute, is what no one was expecting. Because as soon as everyone heard that Usher was being honored, everyone started speculating who would be part of the tribute. Nearly all the names that were thrown out were male singers because the assumption was Usher is a male singer, so the people that would be doing the tribute would obviously be men. Some people threw out the name Sierra because of Usher's dancing, and they were like, there's only a couple people who could really pull it off and dance like Usher. There's Sierra, obviously, and then Chris Brown. Chris Brown is one on tour right now. I think he was performing the night of the BET Awards, so there was a schedule conflict. But also, I've seen people circulating articles from, I guess it was like a year and change ago, when Chris and Tiana Taylor got into it at a skating rink. There was video of it, and then Usher tried to break it up. It was right before the Lovers and Friends concert last year, but there was speculation that there had been a physical altercation between Chris Brown and Usher. So I don't know their degree of cool. And that's more along the lines of the type of Usher-ish that I'm used to. Usher's been famous since he was a kid, and we really don't know all that much about details of his life. Even with the Chris Brown thing, it was reported on, but Usher's never publicly addressed it. Maybe his lips are getting loose in his old age. I mean, after 40, it's hard to give fucks. Like, you actually got to focus on, like, censoring your mouth. So maybe that's just where he is right now. I'm not mad at it. It's just turning a new leaf, as Usher would say. Men, in particular, seem to be very upset that women were chosen to honor Usher. They take it as a deep offense that they were not included, which I just think it's weird. Many men, not all, have a, I'm trying to use nice words to basically say, like, incredibly conceited. Like, they censor themselves in fucking everything. And it's like if something doesn't revolve around them, that they take deep offense and they're like, oh, I was excluded. It was anti-man. Why weren't men included? Why weren't men considered? And I'm like, wow, welcome to how women have felt since the beginning of fucking time. And they are included. That's the thing. Donald Glover was included, but guys don't really feel represented by him. And his performance wasn't that great. But they're like all like riled up and up in arms about men being excluded, men being overlooked. The performance was anti-man because men weren't included. And I was like, women coming together to honor a man who is receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award. It's impossible for it to be anti-man. The big thing is not the tribute. The big thing is the honor. Like, they're doing all the work and they're doing all the dancing and all of that stuff, the singing and whatnot. I mean, and some in better keys than others, some dancing better than others by far. But like, Usher is like the one receiving the award. Usher is actually the one being honored. The man is actually the person being centered in the whole event. All the women are doing all the actions in tribute to the man. And men are like, oh, it's anti-man. When a man is being honored, the fuck? Yo, they've really got to teach comprehension in schools. I was going to say teach it better, but I'm convinced they're not teaching it at all. Because people just can't fucking think right. That's the thing that probably pissed me off the most about the tribute. Like all the men flipping out about a man not being included. I didn't mind the nearly all women tribute. The Donald Glover thing starting it off threw me off because I was like, okay, there's Donald Glover and then a whole bunch of women. And I'm like, how did you get into this mix? I'm not going to say the man can't sing, but the man ain't hit none of Usher's notes. I mean, he tried. It wasn't bad, but it wasn't good. But I'm like, how did you get here? And then Donald Glover, also earlier in the evening, he does a presentation, which I think he was reading from the teleprompter. I think it was supposed to be funnier than what it was. It sounded like he was really critiquing BET because he was like, how do I have more Grammys than Will Smith? And then like the same amount of BET awards as Sam Smith, who's white. I just, I don't know. I ain't got nothing against Donald Glover. Like he made Atlanta. I mean, Childish Gambino. Like, I mean, I like his music. This is America was a bop. The video was amazing. Like, okay. But I guess maybe I underestimate his cultural impact because I was trying to figure out how did Donald Glover, of all people, present and then open up the Usher tribute as the sole male amongst all these women. Like, even when the idea was in people's head of like who was going to be part of this Usher tribute and they were throwing out these different names, like who in the room was like, oh, we need one man to represent in this tribute. And somebody was like, boom, Donald Glover. I don't even understand how his name came up. Childish Gambino, Usher tribute. Like it doesn't mesh. And then on top of that, you know how I feel about Tyrese, right? He's not my favorite person. He's not. But I've never said Tyrese can't sing. I said Tyrese needs to stay off social media. That's one thing. I've never said Tyrese can't sing. Tyrese can sing. Tyrese was also sitting in the audience, I believe, in the front row. I think that was him that I saw. I don't understand how Tyrese was present and somebody was like, Tyrese is coming to the show. And somebody was like, nah, we got Donald Glover. We good. Huh? I didn't see Tank inside. I saw Tank on the red carpet. I know Tank was in there. I'm positive he was in there. Tank can sing. I don't understand why, if you're going to include one man, like, we're going to do this tribute, but we need one man. I just don't understand how they're like, you know what? Childish Gambino, that's your guy. He can hold a note. I wasn't offended by the sound of his voice, but I also wasn't pleased. I just I just don't understand. I don't understand that choice. But okay, you choose Childish Gambino, who can't hit Usher's notes and also can't really dance. He tried to do like a little bop and it just made everything worse. And I was just very confused. Keke comes out. I almost said Keke Shepherd. I meant Keke Palmer. Keke Palmer comes out knowing the history of her and Usher and how it turned into a big thing, a big explosion of a thing. Every time I see her hanging out with Usher, whether it's his video or now on stage honoring him, it tickles me. I thought her dance was great. I thought her voice was just okay. I thought her dancing and then the cultural connection that she and Usher now share because of that backstory, I thought she was great for it. I think it went from there to Summer Walker. Dancing, you could see her counting in her head. I read that she gets really nervous when she's on stage. She has really bad anxiety. She didn't sound bad. She sang her song. It was all right. I could have done without that. Oh, Coco Jones. She did There Goes My Baby. I thought she did fine. I thought her voice sounded great. Usher was in Vegas, like ruining people's lives and marriages and going up to them, serenading them and whatnot. So she did that, but she addressed Usher's wife first. Just, get a check in and make sure, read the room, temperature check, make sure it was cool to address Usher. And she did a little bit, but not too much. And then she got on stage and finished her song. She has a beautiful voice. She's another one, like Chloe, I think is incredibly talented, so talented. And I'm like, you can wear clothes sometimes. Like, you don't have to be half naked all the time. I know she's a young lady. She's in her 20s. She's hot. She's sexy. But I'm like, it's okay sometimes to not show us everything. I'm trying to be PC, but I'm really having a respectability politics moment. Marsha and Brocious. I love Marsha. Her opening note didn't do so good. We know Marsha Ambrosius can sing. We've listened to Flowetry for years. There's no doubting the power of her voice. The opening note it didn't hit what it needed to hit. Chloe on Good Kisser, she sexes up everything like she's in heat. But otherwise, I thought she put on a great performance. Other than Tiana Taylor and Victoria Monet. I thought Chloe's performance and their performance were the two best of the tribute and also the two best of the evening. Chloe is amazing. She's a rare talent. Like she sings, she dances, she's gorgeous, she acts, she has a great personality. But she looked great, she sounded great, she put on a great performance. I wish everyone had been at that level across the board. Keke did well as well, but that's not what we got. Tinashe, is that how you pronounce it? Cute girl, very pretty girl. Okay, voice. And really, that they could have cut that whole thing. That wasn't no. Victoria Monet, Tiana Taylor, they reenacted this really popular performance of Usher and Beyonce doing Bad Girl. It was super spicy. It was super sexual. It was girl on girl. Tiana Taylor has like amazing androgynous or even masculine energy. And she's also a hell of a dancer. She probably choreographed the whole damn thing. No complaints. Thought it was amazing. And then Lotto came out. She's all right. She's not my cup of tea. Cute girl. I liked her performance earlier in the evening when she was sitting on the couch. I was actually listening to the lyrics and what she was saying. And I was like, okay, like I want to celebrate me. Is that what she said? I want to thank me for being me. Am I mixing that up with the Snoop speech? It was in that vein. And I was like, oh, okay, I like this. What she did, yeah. She did all right on the rap part. It wasn't anything to write home about, I didn't think. It's yeah, right? So it's a real Atlanta song. And so at the end, all the women come out and it's like, okay, now A-Town stomp. And then like no one A-Town stomps. And it's like rock away, and then no one rocks away. And I'm like, oh, y'all don't know the dances. I think Tiana Taylor was up there all the way to the side. I really couldn't see. But like no one was doing the dances. And I was like, that's like the joy of the song. I didn't think it was bad. I appreciated that BET got out the box. My thought process was BET didn't want to be predictable because everyone was speculating about the men that were going to sing. I thought choosing women to honor Usher, except for Donald Glover, I thought it was an out the box choice. Nobody was expecting it. I like that they didn't just go with the expectation, that they tried to do something different. I appreciate that. My thought process was the whole thing was a take on Usher's trading places, where the woman and man switch roles. I thought that's what they were going for. I thought it was smart. I think parts of the execution, particularly the addition of Donald Glover, like if you're going to do the all women, then just do it all women. I think he's a great artist. I'm a fan of his music. He just didn't fit in that moment. Like I understand why people are complaining, but I thought overall it was strong. If I were Keith Lee, because Keith Lee likes to rate things, I would give it like a 7. Sometimes less is more. Remember I said the same thing about the Usher album? He put out those 22 songs and I had to cut it down to like a playlist of 10. And now I think it's the greatest album ever made because I literally forgot about the other songs that I'd never listened to. If they had cut it down, if there was a stronger edit, it would have been, I think it would overall come across as a stronger performance. Because the people who were strong were really strong. The good people were great. And then the people who were just okay were really just like, mm-hmm. And then also, because there's so many complaints about the women being the only ones performing, like men are just really in their feelings. So a bunch of the performers have come out instead. Like Usher was in on deciding parts of the tribute. And like Usher wanted me. Like Ocho Cinco wanted me. And men are having some pound my pussy breakdown about not being chosen. I just, ugh.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Last but not least, it's an election year. I would be disappointed at BET if they didn't include anything about voting. So I wasn't mad at them including Madam Vice President. One of the things that always comes along with politicians is the blatant pandering. And it's just like, just be who you are. Kamala Harris at the BET Awards talking about being outside in these streets. I was like, oh, ma'am. You and Mr. Doug, Mr. First, Second Gentleman, y'all are not in the streets. You live in a mansion in DC that is protected by federal security, Secret Service, no less. You are not outside in the streets. Then she was talking about the Republicans and she said something like, they not like us. Ma'am, 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 you ain't got to do all that to get people to vote. You just be you and you talk to the people about things that the people care about, and that's fine. Like, you don't have to do, I got hot sauce in my bag swag. Like, you ain't got to do all that. I know you from California. You came up during the 80s. You likely are genuinely a hip hop head. You genuinely probably do listen to Kendrick Lamar. Obama did too. I'm not complaining about that part. I'm just saying, like, that's not how you speak. And you don't have to start speaking wild, ebonically. Just stop. But I appreciate you coming out and getting involved and trying to get the people out to vote. But just talk to the people normal. We understand Ebonics and regular King's English. We could do both. Thank you. All right. That's not everything. We'll talk soon on Friday for sure. Next week, I can't call it. I don't know. Likely no. Just so you know. But I'm telling you in advance, you can prepare yourself, okay? Because last time I went on hiatus, meltdown. Pure meltdown. I feel the love. But also, stop melting down in my DMs. I love you. Okay. Bye.
Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs projects done well. I absolutely love this because, if you own a home, it can be really hard to maintain. It's hard to find people that can help you for a big project or a small. Well, whether it's in everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now, all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Angie has over 20 years of home service experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app, answer a few questions, and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish. Or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of just about any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. And one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.